Welcome back, everyone. It is another hot day, so welcome back to my channel. It is Ian here in Beijing, and yes, the weather is hot. It has been cooling because of the rain and stuff recently, but then it started to heat back up, so I sort of struggle with the heat, and that's probably a sign for the times around the globe. Is this the sign of the future, the changing climate? Probably. So while the weather has been hot, the global economy has been cool, and I guess this is a struggle for us all. Question again, is this the sign for the future? It's probably the sign for the immediate future, everyone's immediate financial future. It sort of feels like that, and if you listen to people in the know, then we might be in for a much more rocky ride. They say a recession is just around the corner. Whatever a recession means, because nobody can quite agree. A recession is not great for my retirement. I'm going to have to just keep plodding on and hope for some point in the future that I can retire. This, though, has got me reflecting on one of the biggest differences that I experienced living here in China compared to life or the way we think in the West. There are many differences between China and the West, which I have mentioned before. Many differences. There is things like how safe you actually feel when you're living in China. The investment in the infrastructure is another thing. The desire for people to keep educating and learning new skills, and things such like socialised medicine are amongst the examples that are top of my mind, which are very different here in China compared to elsewhere. These are all impressive things that are happening now in China, and in my humble opinion, most people in the West should pause, have a wee peek at China, and then ask, why the hell is some of this stuff not happening for some countries in the West? Question you want to ask yourself. But that isn't what I wanted to call out today as one of the biggest differences I experience here living in China. The difference isn't really so much about a hard measure, such as the amount of speed trains, and there are a lot of them, or the amount of people that are taken out of poverty, and trust me, there are a lot of them, or the amount of new affordable housing being built, again, a lot of them. Nah, I want to talk more about mindset. You see, one of the things that surprised me about China was how important this one topic was and how open people are about discussing it. In the West, we never talk about this stuff, certainly not openly. We don't even teach it to our children, even though we should be getting taught this topic at school at some point. We in the West complain about this topic a lot, but we don't talk about it the same as they do here. And no, I am not talking about the weather, even though I am melting my ass off. I'm talking about another thing. I'm talking about something that we all have in various amounts, and recently we have seen it dwindle. What I'm talking about is money, cash, moolah. I'm talking about the Benjamins. So when I first came to China, which was around the Chinese New Year about 6 years ago, I was a little bit confused, also a little bit shocked about the red envelope gifting at the important family time of the year, which is Chinese New Year. You see, Chinese New Year is very much like Christmas in a way. You get together with family and friends, and you eat, you drink, you socialise, and you give each other gifts. Shopping here. In the West, it is gifts like perfume, calendars, socks, crap like that. In China, it is a red envelope with cash inside. Yep, good old hard cash money in a red envelope, a red packet as it's called. And there is also a hierarchy of who gets what, depending on the closeness to the relationship and age, etc. And for me, it did seem a little bit coarse at that first time of experiencing it. But now I understand the context and the mindset here in China. the more I appreciate the red envelope stuffed full of cash given to each other. After all, Chinese New Year, during Chinese New Year, they always say Gong Xi Fa Tai, which means wish you happiness and prosperity. So I wish you well. And that probably gives you an insight into the Chinese mindset. And also bear in mind, in China, there is a god of money here. So in China, money is really important and people use it, and their attention to the detail around money is really quite important. And that's the difference between the West. Now, you contrast that with something like I was reading the other day about America, you know, the land of the free, the rising debt, the homelessness and the poverty. In fact, it isn't just America, it's many of the Western countries, the UK included, rising poverty and inequality and food banks. I really wish it wasn't like that, because to be honest, the rising inequality is probably going to tear some countries apart. You just need to look at history for examples like Roman Empire, the Nazi Germany. These were all came about because of economic problems. So I guess I'm just an old hippie at heart. I always want peace all round. Anyway, back to the main topic of this video. This one big difference, this one big societal difference that I see here in China and with the mindset in the West is saving money. People here in China save their money for a rainy day. It is super hot. They are somewhat obsessive with their attention to money, and that means that they learn to save it. I read the other day that 64% of Americans have less than $500 savings. So if things go downhill, like many are predicting, then I worry people are struggling now. If it really kicks in, then the general population will start to panic and they will look for answers and things might kick off. And the powers that be will use techniques to distract people. That usually means blaming other countries or race of people or immigrants. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Meanwhile, the wealth transference will continue. The general population will see their pockets get lighter. Anyway, where I'm going with this, I'm not sure. Yes, I remembered where I was going with it. What I was trying to say is the one difference and what we can learn from the mindset here in China to what we are like in the West is save your money. You don't need to have the crap that we are told we need to buy. I also say prepare for a rainy day, always, and talk to others about money. It's important that you understand that I talk to my son about how to manage money all the time. Meanwhile, I'm going to try and enjoy this incredibly hot weather. It's lunchtime in Sanlitun and it's incredibly quiet, but I know what I think I'm going to do. Yes, I've got some plan. Stick with me. You might like this. This is so me. That's what I'm going for. Ice cream. Oh, one other thing. Have a look at this. This is why you save your money. Like I said, they save money. Crazy cow.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob.